Guten Tag, everyone. Welcome to the German Grand Prix of ALR Silver. Anyone who's got any of the Monday Blues, just come and join us tonight because it's going to be an absolutely fantastic race here around the Hockenheim ring. Then last night was a fantastic race, wasn't it? I got to say there was action all over the show, wasn't there? I think we had 3 safety cars or something like that in the end. Blimey, I could hardly keep up. We also had a bit of wet weather as well, which came in as well and really spiced things up, didn't it? But hopefully we might have a calmer race tonight. I hope so anyway, because I was absolutely drenched last night. I don't mean because I was still in the rain, because of my excitement. I was struggling to talk as well. I felt like Murray Walker with a lump in his throat by the end of that, by the end of yesterday's race. It was absolutely incredible, wasn't it? Anyway, enough about the gold. Tonight it's silver, isn't it? And silver has had a cracking season as well. Remember, this is the first ever season of ALR Silver, and it's been absolutely stupendous so far, hasn't it? Been brilliant action up and down the field there. Glock is basically rewriting their record books before they've even been published this season. It's been incredible so far. This format's fantastic, and we've also had an absolutely incredible battle in the midfield as well. We'll go through the drivers and the constructors standing, shall we, from silver. And what a lovely sunny day here in Hockenheim in Germany. Make the most of this. This will be the last time the ALR will be in Germany for the foreseeable future anyway, as the Hockenheim Grand Prix has been, the German Grand Prix has been taken off the calendar for the time being, hasn't it, for next season? So that is a shame as well. And I almost swung my tongue there. Gosh, that's not a good start, is it? Anyway, in the drivers and the constructors standard, shall we have a quick go through it, shall we? Well, at the moment, Glock at the moment has got an 88-point lead in the championship. Absolutely phenomenal stuff, isn't it, for Glock? He's been on top of the world, hasn't he, really? Listen to these stats from Glock so far. 7 race starts, 6 Grand Prix wins, 7 pole positions, 6 podiums, 5 fastest laps. Absolutely outstanding stuff from Glock, really is. And he's got an 88-point advantage over Hunter, who is second. He's moved up 3 positions after a strong forwards last time in Bahrain. YBR moving up to third position. Well, those are the free promoted teams of free promoted drivers at the moment, I should say, are in the top 3, and they will be going up to Sunday nights if they stay as they are at the moment. F1 2019, of course, has missed a couple of races there. I think he's injured his foot or something. So yeah, that's why F1 2019 is dropping down at the moment. He has dropped down to 4th. Forza moving up to 5th as well. Great stuff as well. Ahan moving up to 6th with Droffer moving up 3 to 7th. Brilliant stuff. Serious Mushroom 8th, with King's Omen 9th, and Lesnar, who unfortunately has bowed out of the series, but he finishes off 10th position. Vitol had a crack in the race last time out. He's moved up 4 positions. Ghost Recon also moving up a position as well. In the constructor standings, and Red Bull at the moment have got a 25-point advantage at the moment, courtesy of Glock, but Haas, who was actually in the constructors, has dropped down to 2nd now, aren't they, unfortunately. Mercedes is in 3rd position with Toro Rosso 4th. McLaren and Renault moving up 1 position apiece there, 5th and 6th. That's so close between McLaren, Renault and Toro Rosso and Mercedes in the constructors. Really good stuff indeed. Racing Point had a bit of a nightmare, didn't they, last time in Bahrain? They've dropped down to 7th. Williams is 8th, Ferrari 9th, and Alfa Romeo is in 10th position. So that's the drivers and the constructors standings then have all been done. We're just watching then Fran then as he comes out on track, as I have nicknamed him, as I rechristened him Frank, didn't I, a couple of when he made his debut back in Hungary. Figures. Here comes Razor flicking it through turn 1 then, and Razor has got a new teammate here in the former Flea. Flea made his debut last time out in Bahrain. He had a cracking qualifying pace, didn't he, Flea? It didn't go too well in the race, did he? He had a bit of a tough start to the to his ALR career, but in qualifying he was fantastic as well. We have got LH44, of course, a reserve for ALR Gold, I think. Anyway, but he has definitely put dipped his toe in the ALR Gold, hasn't he, before? And he is saying shalom, so shalom to LH44. We got Glock saying evening, Sean, and everyone else. Good evening, Glock. There. Hope you're well tonight on what? Well, protect what? I know that Glock is British, but of course his namesake is actually German, isn't it? Of course, if he's named after Timo Glock, as in comes Razor flicking it into the stadium section as well. Oh, and I got to say, Glock has really whet my appetite there. It's a dry qualifying, but we got a wet race on the horizon there. So 2 wet races in 2 nights. My goodness me! I got to say, we've had a lot of rain in the UK over the past couple of weeks, and we're going to have a lot of rain over over last night, and we're going to have some tonight as well. Razor's gone fastest on the 12 and on. Oh, he's got a bit wide there, hasn't he? Out of turn 1, but that doesn't matter too much because he has as he's just completed a lap. Here comes V-Top, then flicking into the stadium section as well. well. Coming into the Sachs curve as well. I love that corner there. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful feeling to get right, isn't it? And now Vitod then coming into turn 16 and 17. Then it's a short old course there. Almost going on to the drag strips there. Vitod was. He comes up to the over the grid hatchings. He's going fast as well. Vitod has got a fantastic one-lap speed. He's really good, isn't he? Here comes up Poorly Orange. And, he's making his debut tonight, isn't he? And I got to say, he is, there's a lot of rumours in the old paddock that he is, that he's very quick as well. Another debutant tonight is Explain. I think this is also in his home Grand Prix as well. Explain it, so that's good to see. Great to see some guys making their debut tonight. Oh, lovely bit of, that's a lovely burgundy helmet as well there for the debutant. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then Droffer has gone fastest on a 12-1 there for the Tour. Also beautiful stuff indeed. Then brilliant. So we're off. It looks like that's King's Home who's mowing the grass there. So he's just gone off there, unfortunately. Then we've also got Hunter has left the session there. So Hunter is obviously not too keen on the old weather coming in. King's Home is invalidated. Thomas is going to go around again there. Who else is on track tonight? We got Poorly Oranges out there. YBR, one of my favourite drivers. I shouldn't have favourites, but I got to say, he's so good at overtaking, isn't he? I love it. Here comes Poorly Orange then, of course, coming into the Sachs curve as well. Then making his debut, as I said, in the Mercedes then. Let's see what he can do there. There has been a lot of rumours, hasn't it, about Poorly Orange and his pace. Let's see what he can do then as he comes up to the line. And he is in the 12s at the moment. And Poorly Orange is a 12.606 then. Hunter is back in session. Remember, Hunter is second in the championship at the moment, so he doesn't want to lose any competitive edge if at all possible. Serious Mushroom has done that, so it's gone into 7th fastest. YBR is 0.2 of a second down in the racing point. That was understeer, wasn't it? Going for the Sachs curve there. You don't want to understeer there. Otherwise, you'll be doing a Sebastian Vettel-esque manoeuvre into the tyre wall. We've got Williams there who's not exactly lining up the screens there. Here's Kingston who is lining up the screens. Coming into the stadium section as well. Yellow flags are fluttering in sector 2. Down the back straight in between turn 4 and 6. And they're coming into 14 and 15 and on the nose cone there of the Toro Rosso. I love that shot. That's a beautiful shot as he comes through the final grid hatchings there, and Kingstown goes 6th fastest then in the Toro Rosso. Beautiful stuff indeed. Then Flea is also coming through the final corner as well. Here comes Flea making his second race race return here tonight, and he's 8th fastest on the Ferrari car 13. The only other man to have car 13 in the modern era Formula 1 is Pastor Vadadada then. So I'm not sure if I'd say I think that a man like Flea doesn't really believe in superstition, does he? On board Glock then, and Glock is sporting a new helmet. I'm loving that new helmet as well. Lovely with the shoulder shot as well. So and we've explained there, of course, also making his debut tonight in the comment section, just saying rain as well, with a couple of 4 stops at the end. I'm not sure if he's happy or not about that. Maybe he's excited as I am. Here comes Glock into the Sachs curve as well. This man has not been in every qualifying session he's participated in an ALR Silver. He has been on pole position, hasn't he? We talked about Jonathan Cox last night having that position reserved for his own, but I think that Glock has really taken that literally and figuratively, hasn't he? He comes into the line. He is fast as he ain't second fastest at the moment, but he is a 10th second away from Droffer. Good stuff indeed. Then we got Asdog who's just on track at the moment. We LPE there is also starting. We got Andre Moo coming out as well. Then he just LP there is just taking a trip across the grass at 00. Here comes 00, who I got to say he's had so much speed in the first 2 Grand Prix he's participated, but he hasn't got no points to show for it at the moment, has he? In Bahrain there was an interesting problem. I'm not sure if he something disconnected there, didn't it? And he just went straight on, but he goes fast at the moment. 00 does. Beautiful stuff indeed there from the racing point. Driver flicks it into turn 1. Lovely. LP there started up as well. Here comes Andre now. Andre Moo there is just on it's on a quick lap at the moment then. Nigel saying rain race. I think it is as well. Granty saying hello Shorty boys supporting Williams. Come on boys, don't get a penalty. Which of course I think that was that's in reference to, of course, Granty lost the race last night because he had a 3-second penalty. Remember Emerson won his 8th Grand Prix. I think it's 7th Grand Prix actually last season. Last race was it 7th or 8th? I'm not sure. I can't remember. But whatever, he won it because he was the cleanest driver out there, wasn't he? He didn't get any penalties at all. sure Grant, he got 1 3-second penalty, and that was enough there to give Emerson the win. Last night it was a cracking race, wasn't it? It really was brilliant stuff all around. Alsdog is invalidated his time, and lovely shot then. Look at that, that's great shoot. That's a great view of the grandstands there as well. We've got LP then coming through the final turn there. Of course, LP had a very adventurous Bahrain Grand Prix just over a week ago, didn't he? And I'm expecting more of the same tonight. Again, once again, showed some pace there. There's some really good, there's some really hot pace out there at the moment. Hunter at the moment there is just on a cool down lap, isn't he? Because he's invalidated his time. Alhan is on sector 1 as well. Asdog is also invalidated his time there. So keep an eye on what Fran does. He's coming down the back straight. We got also Hunter telling me it's a wet race as well. I've got to say I'm behind on the comment section, which is nothing unusual there, is it really? So I'm like 5 minutes behind. Yeah, so a lot of drivers report a wet race out. Oh my goodness! Oh, that's a spinner in the background. Who is it? That's Ghost who spun. I'm not sure if there's contact there with Fran or whatnot, but unfortunately Ghost there do a bit of his best impression of Kai Minogue there, wasn't he? As he was spinning around. Luckily, Noah was in his way. As he's on his way now. Fran there has just cut out the Sachs cover as well. Also got Nigel asking, how does qualification work? And I think he's had a bit of fun at my expense there. As I seem to every qualifying session, I seem to explain what happens there, which towards it gets probably sounds like a broken record, doesn't it? As Fran goes into 14 fastest. Of course, it does probably sound like a broken record more often than not. Here comes Alhan coming up to the line, and he goes 15 fastest. He's on the hard tire, Alhan is. That's interesting. Here comes Asdog coming down the back straight. Yeah, of course, then the qualifying session is broken a bit into 3 parts. Then we got a 18-minute session, which is the first qualifying session. This one we're aiming to line up 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. The 4 slowest cars will have to bow out of this qualifying session, and then we go into Q2, where we're going to lose another 5 drivers, which will be 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. The top 10, if you get into the top 10, must start on that tire which you set the fastest time on. That is the rules. That's them rules, as they say. And then the final 12 minutes is the top 10 going for the fastest qualifying timing to get on pole position. Then that is what we're doing in these in this qualifying session. Of course, it does sound quite complicated, but I've got to say it's probably one of the best qualifying formats we've had in Formula 1, hasn't it? We've gone through all kinds of qualifying formats, hasn't it? Alston goes to 11 fast at the moment then. Good stuff from Alhan. It's good stuff for Alston, I should say. Then there's we're just watching there's that's a McLaren there just going a bit wide as well. Back on board with Alhan at the moment as he is just on board the Haas driver as well. He's going to the pits along with Vitold. Vitold there is not exactly bursting breaking. Oh, Vitold is in the wall. He's in the wall. He's out of the car. Oh my goodness me! And wow, I'm gonna be honest. I looked down and I looked back up and he's disappeared. Vitold is out of qualifying. And oh goodness me, that is not good at all there from the McLaren driver. Vitold has been so good in qualifying. I gotta say, since Monaco, he has absolutely stepped up a couple of notches, hasn't he? He's been brilliant. But all of a sudden, that's not brilliant problem at all. Then, so he's done a cool fart. He's crashed into the pit entry and is out of qualifying, unfortunately. Then, so that's a shame. Well, that's a big shame as well. We're on board with what Bjorn in the racing point there. He's just coming out of the Mercedes grandstand corner. Is that Nigel there is appreciating my explanation of qualifying. No problem, Nigel. So I think Nigel knows exactly what's going on in qualifying. Of course, an experienced driver, isn't he? Nigel's the first ever champion of ALR when he won that incredible nail biter back it up with Dhabi round 17 of season 1. It was a brilliant race, wasn't it? Of course, we decided to shake up qualifying back then as well. ALR, of course, they decided to have a one-shot qualifying back then, didn't they? Which really spiced up the race. I don't think the drivers really appreciated it much on that day, because they had to do a double header as well, and they had a second race. So I think one race is enough for night, isn't it? Let alone 2. Ghost Recon has absolutely nailed turn 1. That is an absolute perfection of turn 1. That's a beautiful exit there for the Ghost Recon. If you want to take turn 1 to beautifully, then just look at Ghost Recon's entry and exit. That was beautiful from the Williams car. Fantastic stuff indeed. That Glock saying that wasn't a bad lap there from himself there. It really wasn't, was it? On the medium compound tires, and my goodness me, there is some polystyrene there. That is a car going. I don't know what's going on out there. There's I think there's a runner there front there just Obviously got something against polystyrene. I gotta say, I used to love polystyrene. When I used to get the old Scale Electric for Christmas and my birthday, polystyrene was probably one of the best parts of that Scale Electric. Of course, I used to just like to scratch at it, and all the white stuff comes off. Obviously, me mum and dad wasn't too happy about that, but then of course I had to get the old Hoover out. And in the forest, that's quite a bad thing to do, isn't it? Of course, we don't really know what Hoovers were. We've only just seen one invented a couple of weeks ago. Ghost Recon then coming into turn 16 as well. Then he's got another right under to go. Here, what's he going to do? So he comes up across the line now. Let's see what he does. And he's gone into 9th position. Ghost Recon. It's Ghost Recon having an interesting outlap, didn't he? A couple times before. Hunter has got 3 minutes to get himself a time in here. This man is second in the championship loads, and I'm loving that Tiger helmet there. Maybe it's inspired from Tony the Tiger, but hopefully Hunter can get a great lap in. Oh dear, can get a great lap in, and perhaps and get himself out of qualifying at the moment. So far, we've unfortunately lost V-Top there. He is retired from the session there as he has unfortunately found himself had a problem coming into the pit lane. So he is out of qualifying. You have to get back to the pit lane under your own steam, and I mean into the garage as well. V-Top was almost there. I think it was about a couple of feet away from his garage, but unfortunately it didn't go too well at all. Alhan is back out on track there as well, and he is on the soft tires, as is Fran as well. Fran had an adventurous outlap as well. Ghost and Fran, they're really really testing the limits of the track there on the outlap. Back on board with the Renault driver as well then, as Glock is saying a slight timing glitch. I'm about 30 seconds off. To be honest, that is I gotta say that's standard, really, isn't it? Everyone seems to be 30 seconds in front of me, because if anyone's ever noticed our start lights, the start lights go out, and then there's me just shouting "Go, go, go!" And the cars are still stationary, which really I should learn by now, that because we've had that for a couple of for almost a season and a bit now. Fran goes back to 12th position. He is currently safe at the moment there, isn't he? What about Ahan? He's coming through the Sachs curve as well, and lovely shot. I'm loving those curbs there. Beautiful stuff there from Alhan, and he has done his first time on the hard compound tires. Alhan's been brilliant since coming into this league, hasn't he? What I love about this league is that new drive just to go in. Oh, so he's gone up to 8 faster than good stuff indeed then. What about Hunter? Hunter then is purple in the second sector. He flicks it into the stadium section. Well, here comes car 9 then. He's stolen the number 9 then from Ericsson. I think Ericsson ain't going to be too bold since he's now in the IndyCar scene, isn't he? Now then, Hunter then is in the stadium section. Well, I've got to say, the stadium section is absolutely incredible. It's not a race day. It's when it's packed. It does feel like a stadium section, doesn't it? Here he comes then up to the line, and Hunter then has finally got a time, and he's done a couple of... But he's only 17th at the moment. Hunter is right on the cusp at the moment with a minute and a half to go in this session, but there or thereabouts. And this is going to be very interesting indeed then. And Glock has made a very good observation there, and that's why... And that's why I do need some professionals in the comment section, which is why I always ask you guys to always throw your 2 pennies worth in, because I have no idea what I'm talking about half the time. And Glock is saying that he's wondering how many people are running the wet setup. Of course, in this new as Droff is retired from the session, but don't worry, he should be through on board Serious Mushroom, and he needs to get serious now coming into the stadium section. Glock was saying then, of course, about who's wearing the wet setups. Remember, in the modern day of Formula 1, they after this qualifier, they're now in park firm conditions, and you can't tweak the setups anymore. You can't now take the car apart after qualifying and put a wet setup on. This setup is for both qualifying and the race. So you guys, so them guys, Serious Mushroom goes right up to 8th position, 7th position. Good stuff in there. Asdog still chilling in the pits at the moment. We got Hunter there, who is just trying to get away. He's got no fuel left. Hunter might be out of qualifying. That's a huge surprise then. Flea is invalidated this time. He's got 30 seconds to go. Flea is out of qualifying as well. What a shame then. Hunter is also out as well. He's in the gravel there. From YBR, he's just started as well. He's invalidated this time. YBR is also gone as well. This might be an anticlimactic qualifying session there. Well, first qualifying session anyway. We have lost, as Glock's retired as well, we have lost V-Top then. Unfortunately there, he would have been safely through if he didn't crash, if he didn't have his problem in the pits there. We have also lost Fran. We have lost YBR. We have also lost Hunter, and we have lost Flea as well. What a shame there for those guys then, all bowing out of qualifying then in this German Grand Prix. As Glock was saying though, of course, wet setups, of course, because you're in park firm right now. You cannot just simply, as there's a Williams going very slow on the is Ghost there, who's, well, I say he's going morning slow. He's actually parted there. And, he's in the wall there, Ghost is. And he's got full lock on there. That Williams there is getting very twitchy. Of course, as long as he doesn't terminally damage the car, he should be alright into Q2. He is safely through into Q2 at this stage of the proceedings there. So that's good stuff from That's good stuff from Ghost Recon there, but my goodness me, that was getting a bit fruity there, wasn't it? As he was pointing the wrong way into the wall. So YBR is retired from the session, and we also lost Fran, Eva, Hunter out of the qualifying session. My goodness me, that's an absolute horror show for Hunter, isn't it? And Flea is down in 19th position. Wow, incredible stuff, Ben. Yeah, his Glock is just confirmed. He is certainly running the old wet setup there, and also Hunter is just saying he's had no pace there, no pace at all. So yeah, so shocking stuff there from Hunter then, as he is out of qualifying. That is a big could be a big moment in this championship in terms of who's going to get promoted to gold. Then, as we're just back on board with Ghost then, as he is missing half his wing element there in the old Rocket Williams. Right, third time's the charm, as I was trying to explain then. Of course, then with car setups, you can't change the car setups anymore between the qualifying and the race then. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say, so that's much more simplified, isn't it? Not back in the old days. If anyone remembers the late 90s, early 2000s, remember the cars were just taken apart, weren't they, after qualifying, and just they were just basically brand new cars for the race, wasn't it? Ironically, the reliability was absolutely atrocious back then, wasn't it? Of course, the engines blown up, we had suspension failures, we had wheel bearing failures, we had all sorts of failures, we had a transmission failure, we had the works, didn't we? So in terms of the cars there, they was only built to last literally for that race, where around here, for example, it was 45 laps around here, wasn't it? Back in the old days where it was a long blast through the forest, wasn't it? I got 500 XP there, I'm happy with that. Where it was a long blast through the forest, wasn't it? Through the trees there. That track was used right until the end of 2001, wasn't it? For we have this Herman Tilker designed track now as well, and I've got to say, I'm loving that shot of Hockenheim. That's a beautiful shot, isn't it? And you can see the drag strip down there. That drag strip caused all kinds of problems there, didn't it, for the drivers back in the 2019 race, didn't it? We just got a bit of an anticlimactic pause here, which is nothing unusual for ALR. We do love to keep our guys waiting, don't we? Yeah. So I'm just having a look at the old comments, and let me just quickly then catch up, shall we? We have also got Young Lights. Come on, Flea, King, and Forza, talented drivers there. Indeed they are. So I quickly get the old stats up. Oopsie daisy. There we go. Much better. As I've also knocked the Slam Trophy as well. Gosh, I've got to sort myself out. And Lights is also saying, and 00 as well. Ryan, Galokas, how dare you? And we've also got and Razor. Yeah, so Charles, if I was you, Lights, I would just say the whole grid, because they are talented, isn't it? Every single one of the gold and silver drivers are talented in one way or another. As out comes poorly, Orange said, I hope he had that poorly, but I think he'd be fairly happy, wouldn't he? He's through into Q2 on his debut. Fantastic stuff there from the Mercedes driver, beautiful. King's Home is out on track mount car 94 then. Gotta say, King's Home has been ever present in this league since its inception, so great to see King's Home doing a cracking job there. He's been ever present, hasn't he? And he's had 32 points there for the Toro Rosso team then, which will now be called AlphaTauri in the next game then, which I've got to get used to again. And I've also got to get used to racing point change into Aston Martin, of course, in 2021 then. So finally, when you we got used to a team name, they starting to change it again, don't they? God, can't keep up with all these team name changes on board the Toro Rosso as well then. Yeah, going back to the qualifying format, of course, there's 3 parts to qualifying these days, but remember back, we've had a couple of qualifying formats. Of course, we had that one-shot qualifying in 2003, which is I quite like the one-shot qualifying, because you got to see guys like Jos Verstappen, and we also seen guys like, of course, the late and definitely the very great as well, Justin Wilson, of course, who was driving the Minardi back then as well. I think he switched to Jaguar halfway through 2003 as well, didn't he? So it was great to see like more the tail enders just having their time on TV. It was good stuff, that. Then he decided to go to that aggregate time, didn't they? I think it was 2005. My goodness me, I don't think I'll ever go to that anytime soon. That was very confused as well. King's Home coming down the back straight as well then, as he is on a lap, then. And yeah, his first sector wasn't too bad there for King's Home. Now breaking into, this is probably one of the most favourite. Oh, he's gone. He's overshot slightly there, but that shouldn't cost him too much time, I don't think, from my untrained eye. So King's Own is on its way down as he flicks it through turn 7 as well. That corner can be very criminal in the wet there, can it? And I think we've seen Stringy there. I think that was Stringy's first ever DNF in ALR, wasn't it? I think last season he had an almighty shunt there, didn't he? When he was driving the McLaren in his debut season, that was a scary old incident there for Stringy. And I think that was when we had damp conditions as well, wasn't it? King's Up now just coming through the Sachs curve as well. Then you can see, look at, I love that corner. That's a brilliant corner as well. Good stuff indeed there. Young Light saying, and you too, Glock, as there's a bit of banter going on in the old comic section as well. Coming through the follow turn now as well. And what does King's Up do as he goes on the board? He does a 12.818 there. And that's a Red Bull in the background now, just flying through, and he's just completing it, starting us up. What about Poorly Orange? He is on the medium tires, and he's done a 13.007 there. And you know what's coming next? You've got a James Bond joke, haven't you? And License to Thrill there from Poorly Orange. And of course, any you James Bond fans out there, unfortunately, the new James Bond film has been delayed, hasn't it? I'm absolutely gutted by that. Of course, I've always been a Roger Moore kind of fan, of James Bond. Daniel Craig's it's a bit too realistic for me now, because I quite like the cheese of Pierce Brosnan and Roger Moore. Anyway, as Razor, I don't even know, I've gone off on a tangent here. Razor just started his lap now, and whilst that was going on, Forza there has got up into third fast. I've got to say, Forza's been very good since kind of four-time driver in the Renault team. He's done really well, hasn't he? Asdog has gone full fastest there. I'm interested about this, because a lot of guys have gone on the medium compound tyre, but they haven't. But of course, we are expecting rain in the race, so I wonder if the rain must come later on in the race. Here comes Ghost coming up to the line as well. Oh, the Grid Hatchins, he is about to start his lap as well, so it's a bit anticlimactic there. Sorry, guys. Explain on track as well. Here comes Andre as well. Andre Moo, who is down the back straight. Razor is on our lap as well, so is 00. Here comes Glock coming into the line. Remember, we got 14 cars in this session after, and he goes fastest on an 11.5 for Glock there. He's straight on the soft tyres and doing a good job where Glock is, but when isn't he doing a good job? My goodness me, this man is this man's formidable, isn't he, to say the least there. He is absolutely, he's a machine, isn't he, when he gets into a Formula 1 car. Brilliant stuff indeed there. Of course, as we said in the build-up to the qualifying session, this man is just basically rewriting all the records there, isn't he, of Silver is M&M, this is Silver's Ignorio. His first season, there we go. I was trying to say something very clever and I completely messed up with that. But yeah, his first season in ALR Silver, and I think Glock is basically smashing the records already, hasn't he? 00 is back in the pits at the moment. We've also got LPE out of the hairpin as well then in the Haas there. He had a very adventurous Bahrain Grand Prix. Here comes Explains there in his debut tonight. Explains this, and I gotta say, he is looking very much on the pace, isn't he? I'm loving this. He is 3/10 of a second away from Glock at the moment there. Red Bull 1-2. They're looking formidable anyway in the qualifying session. Sorry, in the constructors, but they're looking very familiar in this qualifying session as well then. 9 minutes to go in this session. Well, 9.5 minutes to be precise then. Here comes car 66 LPE then, accelerating on the Sachs curve as well in the Haas then. Lovely on board action here from LPE, and you can see then go very, look at the understeer on that car there, because that car just didn't want to turn, did it, from LPE, but because of the Grid Hatches as well, and he's in fourth position there. Good stuff there from LPE, and a lot of guys now going on silver tires, going on to the red stripe tires as well. Here comes LPE's teammate Alhan, who's done a fantastic job, hasn't he? Another man who's I think before Alhan have been outstanding up there so far. Yellow flag in one, but there doesn't seem to be any too much mischief going on in the sector one. Sector one, I think consists of basically two corners, doesn't it? Really, so it's not exactly the longest, not exactly the longest section of the road. Of course, is one of the more shorter courses, isn't it? As we're in the 1 minute and 11 so far, as it stands. And of course, it's a 71-second odd lap around here, isn't it? Again, on board and a half, I feel like deja vu. But instead of LPE, it is Alhan coming out to the line, and he jumps up in the fourth fastest, just in front of his teammate by a 1/10 of a second. Then good stuff indeed there from car 19. Lovely. Just taking a look, then we've got Forza who's out on the lap at the moment. We've also got Andre out as well. We've also got Serious Mushroom now, just about to, I think he's the farthest one around then. So at the moment then, we have got 4 cars that are in the drop zone who aren't set times actually. So it's Ghost, both Williamses, Andre, and also 00 as well. And this gives me an absolutely brilliant time to actually just talk as Young Lights there, just in the comment section mode. Nice King on soft there, but you have to do a 2-stop unless the rain there. I think it is raining lights actually. It's well, it is, yeah, it is raining by the sounds of it. All the drivers have reported earlier on in the comment section that there is rain on the horizon there, so that's why everyone I think is going on the soft tires. Strategy is kind of thrown out the window here. Light's also saying, he's saying he can't wait for Singapore. Bring it on. My favourite track there. I'm really quick around there. Of course, Singapore is coming up. Not the next race, the race after. So round 11 then. So Young Lights there, who I've got to say, Australia. And yesterday he had a very adventurous race yesterday, but he was still in the points. So still scoring some good points as well. Glock saying wet race, yes, a light rain throughout, according to the report there. So it's an absolute. So it looks like we're gonna have a wet race throughout the race then. And I've got to say, I do like variable conditions rather than raining all the way through. But well, beggars can't be choosers, so to speak, can they? But I still would like a good wet race on it. Serious motion there. You can see getting very close to that concrete bar there. Of course, that barrier can catch out the unaware. It can take an absolute chunk out of your car there if you're not very much on the money, is it? As a serious motion then floats another turn at 14 and 15 before coming into 16 and 17 down there. Look at how much AstroTurf he takes there. Absolutely stupendous stuff here from Mushroom. He is full fastest. That was commitment there from the Williams driver. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning stuff there. Andre is on the middle section as well. Here comes 00 then. 00, I think he should be getting some points today, shouldn't he, really? Because he's been phenomenal the first two races in Australia and Bahrain. But I think he's been unlucky and he's into the pits then. So as he comes in the pits then, and we'll go from there then. I think that's where V Todd had his issue, didn't he, in the pits? Well, I got to say, I didn't actually see it too. I was on board with the car behind V Todd there, and I just looked down and I'd look back up at the V Todd retired, and I just seen some debris on the track there. Here comes Andre. He comes around the final turn then. Let's see what he can do then in the Alpha. Also making his debut tonight, and he's third fastest. My goodness me, the debutant around a fantastic start. A good showing then from all these guys out there. Wow, I've got to say, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? Asdog there flicking it through a turn at 7 as well. So is Ghost Recon as well. We're staying with Asdog. Razor. It's on the medium tires about Razor is, so I wonder if he was thinking about saving. Oh, did you see that? Asdog there having a good old drift there. Lovely stuff there. Ken Brock would be having that. Oh, very close there to the I thought he was invalidated his time there, didn't he? As he accelerates out then and coming over the 14 and 15 then, as explains and saying German power. It really is, isn't it? As here comes Alstar coming around the final turn then on board Valstock. Let's see what he does. He goes full fastest then. This is looking juicy, isn't it? Here comes Ghost Recon and he goes into 7th fast as well, just in front of his teammate by the narrowest of margins there. My goodness me, that's nip and tuck, isn't it? Very close as well. Here comes Razor. He's still on the medium compound tires there, and he is 5 tenths a second off his personal best mode. Serious Mushroom has retired from the session there. He is in 8th position mode, so that is very perilous there from the Williams driver. I'm not sure if he's going to get through that. He might be able to. So we're going on a bit of a low at the moment. Look at the sunshine there. And by the sounds of it, it's going to be completely opposite tomorrow, isn't it? Tomorrow. That's the beauty about league racing. We qualify and race on the same night. So we not only get the fast action of a qualifying session, we also get the incredible main event in one night there. And I've got to say, that's almost too much for me to handle. I've got to say, I need to have my shreddy wheat in the morning, don't I, to keep up with the ALR guys. And he flicks it into the stadium section as well. So I think it's just on an in-lap moment. So we've got a lot of... got a couple of drivers on now. Here comes Poorly Orange. Let's go on board with the debutant, shall we? And I got to say, he's doing a fantastic job, so to speak, so far, isn't he? We got 2 DRS zones around this 2.8 mile track, isn't it? Something like that. It's not, of course, not as long and formidable as the old Hockenheim track. The old Hockenheim track used to just burst onto the trees. You just go straight on there, didn't it? And I got to say that when you think of Hockenheim, I just think of Gerhard Berger. Obviously, of course, one of the legends of Formula 1, he's been brilliant, hasn't he? Gerhard Berger has over the course of his F1 career, hasn't he? Of course, he won here in '94. He should have won in '96, didn't he? But his engine blew up when Damon Hill was chasing him down in '96. But and then I think a fairy tale win there in '97, there wasn't it? When he came back after missing 3 races of being ill, didn't he? Of course, that's when Wurz actually made his debut. Alexander Wurz there stood in for Berger for 3 races there, didn't he? Now, Wurz got a podium there in the British Grand Prix. Make of that of what you will, really. That's a bit of trivia for you. And of course, but Berger there, and also lost his father, didn't he, of course, before the race in Germany as well. So I bring that up because it's one of my favourite races to watch. Berger absolutely dominated that weekend, didn't he? It was really good stuff indeed there. Fisichella, of course, Giancarlo Fisichella driving the Jordan back then as well, had an outstanding race as well. That was all about yesteryear. There's a lot of great races around here. So, I mean, if you want to watch any quality races, there's Poorly Orange goes third fastest there. Is that going to be enough to get him through? I think anyone in the 11s should be fine. Anyone in the early 12s, I think, should be fine as well. Track evolution around here can be quite steep. Yellow flag in one there. According to my track map, it's all clear. Here comes 00. He's fastest there on 11.4 there. So he's displaced Glock then, and 00 there getting into the 11s there. Beautiful stuff indeed there from 00, and I have and thank you Ghost there for who is actually listening to me, because I'm glad someone is. Of course, I was obviously trying to test you guys out. There's 3 DRS zones around here, not 2. There is 1 on the start finish straight. There is 1 in between at turn 1 and 2, of course, and there's also 1 on the back straight as well between turn 4 and 6 there. Well, I don't really class turn 5 as anything, because it's more of a kinky kink than anything else, isn't it? As Glock is saying, someone is running a dry setup there, and I think he might be. I'm wondering who he's talking about there. As we're on board with Ghost Recon, he's just on out at the moment. We've got a couple of guys there that are now starting to dip their toe in the water, so to speak. And then there's going to be a lot of war later on in the race in a minute. Razor's come out on the soft tire as well, so Razor expects some improvement. Yellow flag in 2 and 3. Ghost Recon coming through the final turn as well. DRS right on the minute. Let's go for that. Make the most of DRS, because we might not have it in the race later on. Later on this evening, because and of course when it's wet, of course DRS is deemed as not safe, is it? Which I suppose is it's fair. It's a fair judgment, isn't it? As a Ghost Recon there accelerates around. Now he's on the DRS zone, right on the money there. You heard the beep there from Ghost there, right on it there like Sonic. Then he comes down the back straight. It's anything but a straight there, isn't it? And he's coming into the hairpin. Oh, we had some action there down there, didn't we? Last night it really was getting very much Albus out there, wasn't it? Really good stuff indeed there. And we've also got there, as explained there, saying really nice commentary. I enjoy it. Oh, thank you, explained there. I gotta say, you might have to mute me though, because I get very annoying very quickly. Ghost Recon there is just flicking it out at the Mercedes grandstand then, before coming into the stadium section as well then. And you notice I always read out the nice comments there as well, because yeah, just to feed my ego a bit there. Anyway, Ghost Recon coming out of Sachs Curve as well. We're on board with him in the Rocket Williams there, and he's coming through to turn 17 as well. And look at that, remember those grandstands back in the early 2000s was full of red, wasn't it? Full of the Ferrari fans, wasn't it? And of course the Schumacher fans as well. Of course in the early 90s they would have been blue for the Benetton team, wasn't it? Especially 94, 95. Droffel on track at the moment then. He's 4/10 of a second up. That should be enough to see him through then. That is it. Checker flag is fluttering. I'm 30 seconds behind. I'm 30 seconds behind everyone else, or in front of everyone else, I think, actually. Because yeah, I wish I could see you 30 seconds into the future. That would cause me all kinds of that would get rid of all kinds of grief in my life. Alhan there is cruising back to the pits. Alhan is done. Oh, 400 of a second. I don't think it's enough. Razor's out of qualifiers as well. Serious Mushroom might be able to sneak through. Alhan is 12th. 11th. LPE is 12th. Razor is 13th. Kingzone is 14th. Van's a big shock here in this qualifying session. Alhan is out of qualifying. My goodness me. That is a shock and a half. We've lost Hunter, we've lost Alhan, we've lost LPE, Razor, Kingzone. Oh my god, oh gosh, and who's who of Silver? Well, they've all bowed out. My goodness me. Serious Mushroom, I gotta say, I want to ask him about the winning lottery numbers, but he knows exactly what's going on, doesn't he? It's cool as a cucumber, isn't he? Serious Mushroom. And he sneaks through into qualifying 3 then. So qualifying 3 is coming up in just a few moments' time. Of course, if you like your Fast and Furious action, then I've got to say, hold on to your seats, everyone. I hope you got handlebars on your seat, because you're going to have to be holding on tight, because it's going to be brilliant, isn't it, in qualifying 3. I'm looking forward to this one as well. Remember, Glock is undefeated in qualifying format so far, and he's got a 90% win rate in ALR as well. But don't quote me on that percentage. I think that's I'm not very good at maths. But yeah, so Glock has been undefeated in qualifying so far. Is today the day where he is not going to be on pole position? Well, we'll find out in qualifying 3. But before we do that, Let's have a look at the guys that have bowed out here. King's Home is in 14th position. Razor 13th. Then we've got the two Haas's on row 6 of LPE and Alhan. Surprisingly, knocked out a qualifying there, but look at the margins there. 200ths of a second. And now we're just counting down into a qualifying 3. And this is going to be good, isn't it? Cool. So, as I said, then Glock is the undisputed king in qualifying so far. And there is a lot of pretenders that really wants to take that crown off him, isn't there? I got to say, anyone who does get pole position today absolutely earned it. Really would, wouldn't they? Anyway, we're now going into qualifying 3 then around this beautiful Hockenheim circuit then. Of course, then if you want a history about Hockenheim, then you can always go onto Wikipedia. But I was just going to share a bit of trivia for you. Of course, then I think Formula 1 used to have 2 German Grand Prix, didn't they? They used to alternate. I can't say any big words tonight. I think I'm nervous, isn't I? Because we've had a couple more subscribers, so I'm like, ooh, I got to kind of impress them. Well, I've completely not done that tonight. But yeah, the German Grand Prix used to swap every year, didn't they? The Nürburgring used to be on like the odd years, so 2011, 2013, 2015, 2017, and so on. And then of course Hockenheim used to do 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, and so on, and like that. But of course, unfortunately, the Nürburgring had to bow out from one after 2013, didn't they? I think it was something to do with financial or that kind of stuff. That's well above my head. To be fair, I struggled to get into the politics of Formula 1 because yeah, I'm not smart enough to understand it really. But yeah, so unfortunately there for the Nürburgring, which I quite like the Nürburgring, even if they did. Of course, they made the second sector, the first couple of corners, a couple of 3 or 4 corners, they just extended, didn't they? It did also make the track length a couple of slightly longer as well, didn't it? As Andre's just got out of the way there of the Red Bull of Explain that wants to be the first round track there, loving that gold black. That's a beautiful, that's a salmon pink, isn't it? From Explain there, loving that helmet, cracking stuff indeed there from the Red Bull driver. And of course, there, as we mentioned before, this could be the last time we race in ALR around Germany for a long time. And so make the most of this, folks. Then this is going to be cracking stuff indeed. They're coming to the Sachs curve as well. I'm going to make the most of this because I do love the German Grand Prix. It's really grown on me. I was one of the ones that was absolutely disgusted when I said the first images of this modified German Grand Prix, because I quite like the long straights and the car breaker that it used to be up until 2001. I think it was the Williams team that was the final winners, wasn't it? Was it Montoya or Ralph Schumacher? I think it was Ralph Schumacher that won the final Grand Prix around there, wasn't it? Around the oh, Ghost is gone. That's a smash and a half there for Ghost, and he is out qualifying then, and he is the first victim of turn 1. Oh my goodness me, he's ripped off the front right of the part of the car there. Sorry, the left part of the car, and that is it then. So I figure just go to see Sirius Merchant there come by his teammate then. Ghost then out qualifying. He's on the medium tires there, Ghost is. So I'm wondering if that caught him out slightly. What a shame there from Ghost there. So we're down to 9 cars and the first victim of the infamous turn 1 there. Is that, of course, we had a lot of victims there last night, really, and unfortunately there, and of course one of the victims there was Matt, of course, driving the Red Bull. I only mentioned that because I'm on board the Red Bull now. We've had a couple of other guys there in the war as well. Of course, I think Fisher was another man. Of course, the very experienced, the very quick Fisher was in there as well. So yeah, so unfortunately it's kind of like every turn of the Formula 1 calendar, there's always a turn which is really slippery. Unfortunately, it's turn 1 on this instance. Unfortunately, it's Ghost there who is gone into the wall. We got Andre coming into the line. Andre is second fast mode in the 12s then for the Alfa Romeo there in car 31. Here comes Porty Orange, and my goodness me, he's using all the track, and then so he is second fast at the moment there. Very close to one by the second Red Bull. Glock, he is on pole position at an 11.483 there for Glock. 3/10 of second in front. We got Sirius Merchant going 5th fast. We got Dropford coming into the pits at a very peculiar angle there. I thought he was in the wall. Here comes Forza. They're coming through the final turn then. Let's see what Forza does. He jumps up in the 4th fastest, and Ghost there going I am stupid. That was a poor impression there of Leclerc. Unfortunately, I don't know, it's unfortunate. I think Ghost has done his best impression of Leclerc, but of course around Germany rather than rather than Baku. Here comes 00 then. 00 then is I gotta say 3 out of 3 qualifying, 3 out of 3 qualifying in terms of being in the top 10. Look at that flinger through in the eye of a needle there from Glock from 00 there. Brilliant stuff from the Pink Panther from the Pink Panther. Oh my goodness me! Look at that opposite look there from Double. He's really giving it some welly there, isn't he? And he's down the back straight. Of course, these cars are always sliding, isn't it? Whether they're sliding forwards, backwards, or sideways, which unfortunately Double was saying. And because of that, I think he's going to lose an awful lot of time then. So that is probably about a couple of tenths there. He's also it's minuscule, but in terms of Formula 1 there, that is a huge margin there. But let's see what he can do then. He's carrying on. Alstom is out on track at the moment as well then. So Alstom in Double there, slightly out of kilter at the moment then. But because it's such a short track there, you can really afford it, can't you? There, unfortunately, then. As we're on board then with Double then, it's great to see Nigel there really in the comments there tonight, isn't it? Nigel is of course the first ever ALR champion there, beating the man who's actually driving in silver tonight, who's actually starting 18th. Hunter was runner up in the first ever season of ALR, wasn't he, way back when? Here comes Double. He's still second fastest, my goodness me, and he had opposite lock there in the first on the figures turn 2 or 3. That is an incredible time. Can 00 there stop the monopoly, which is Glock, who's on pole position, who has been on pole position every race in his ALR career so far. My goodness me, Double is really throwing the gauntlet down there. Brilliant stuff indeed then. As Nigel just saying, if you crash now, it gives good faith for a wet race there. But of course there is I think qualified though, you're light as a feather, aren't you? The cars are going to be skittish, and of course when you start in the race there, the cars are going to be a lot more heavier. They're going to be a different beast, aren't they, in the race there, which is coming up in just under about 10 minutes time-ish. As Dog is down to the hairpin now. Look how slow they go down to the Mare hairpin there. Almost 40 miles an hour there, isn't it? Literally almost as slow as a well, I don't know, it's as slow as me going to work on board then with Asdog then. Oh, I wish I went to work at 4 miles an hour, didn't I? Blimey, I'll be the fastest man on the planet there. Usain Bolt, eat your heart out kind of thing. Anyway, enough about my dreamland. Back with Asdog. He's gone purple in sector 2 into the stadium sector as well, and cut into the Sykes curve. Then he's got a bit of deployment left. Look down in the right corner there. You see all that telemetry going on. We've got gears there. That's a big 5. That is the gears. We've got miles an hour there. Look at that. Look at the RPM and the miles an hour. They're just changing that thing every time. Then DRS is on the money. Asdog goes 6 fastest in front of his teammate Andre Moulet. Asdog's had a couple of races out there. My goodness me, he's looking as fresh as a daisy, isn't he? Coming back in, explain there, flying it through turn 1 then, and he is kind of turn 2 now then as well. Glock is saying it's a bit tight at the top there. My goodness me, it's a whisker, isn't it? Look at that then. I gotta say that's more than tight. 1,000th of a second there. It's humanly impossible, I think, to see that. You need a camera. You need a microscope then. That is the difference between Double and Glock. I know there's a lot more in the locker for Double. Is there any in the locker there for Glock? That's the question. He was on board Double when he had all the kinds of opposite lock there out of turn 3. Incredible stuff. And Nigel there is this is better than Netflix, right? Well, it depends on what you're watching on Netflix as well. I got to say, I'm really looking forward to Ozarks, which is actually coming back on it's out of season 3 there. I quite like Ozarks. It's a very gritty old drama there, isn't it? Yeah, as well as we're back on board with explaining. Enough about my hobby pastime as well. I also should really promote Drive to Survive. But if you haven't watched it yet, it's an absolutely fantastic watch as well. Fascinating watch there, which of course was released about a week or two ago. Explain coming up to the line then. Let's see what he can do there. He's out of fuel. He's out of fuel. He's on pole position at cracking time. And my goodness me, they're all sharing the 11-4s. 11-4, 11-4. That is the top 3. My goodness me then. Line them up side by side. You would not know who is in front there. That is an incredible time so far. What a qualifying session. And I thought last night's was close as well. My goodness me. Absolutely fantastic so far. It's like Jerez 97. Remember then they all the top three had exactly the same time. Schumacher, Villeneuve and Frentzen were almost on that wavelength tonight. Serious Mushroom is 12 at the moment on a 12-3. And has he got any more in the locker as well? I think he's just backed off at the moment. And I wonder if he's going to go again. Then 3 minutes ago, we got an outlet then for 00. Then 00. What can he do? What has he got left? And we're on board the Racing Point then as he flies through then. He flies through and he's about to start his lap now. This is an absolutely incredible qualifying session. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. 180 seconds left then. Who is on pole position? 00 has just done the personal best in the final section there. My goodness me, that car is light as a feather, isn't it? As you can see, the clouds are starting to gather over here, isn't it? Of course, the clouds are already going to be gathering ready for the race end coming up very soon. Glocker, double coming out of turn 4 as well. DRS right on the minute. Then, of course, turn 5 was just a kinky kink. There's not really much about it. Lovely over-the-shoulder shot here from the Racing Point driver, dropping down then into turn 6 then. First gear there for a double there. Of course, it was second gear for Asdog just a minute ago. So that's incredible. So it's interesting in terms of the driving style as well. 00 then is out on track fairly early as well then. So he wants to come out. Car 30. Oh, that's a light lock up there. Shouldn't do too much harm there in terms of his the time there in the top right hand corner there. Look how wide he goes. Oh my gosh, he's almost touching the concrete wall there. He's on the Arsenal turf and coming into the Sachs curve as well. Look at this then and see a bit of off camera. They're accelerating the way on the AstroTurf and flown over 14 and 15 into turn 16 as well. Then feathering the floor, stomping on the floor, off the floor, on the floor. Here we go then. What is it? It is pole position at 11.5, 11.250 from the Racing Point. Spectacular stuff from 00. Is he the man to stop Glock's monopoly on pole position? There's a Renault there completely off the track now. I think he was on the old track there, wasn't he? He was so far off the track. Explain is on a lap as well then. He is just out there just getting himself going. We have got Glock. He is about to defend his pole position, defend his honor out there. This is great. We got Paulie Orange then. We've got Forza. Asdog is not keen on getting involved at the moment there. We've also got Droffer who's also starting as well. Serious Mushroom is retired from the session. Well, I've got a minute and 4 seconds to go, and I'm absolutely famished there, isn't it? We might have to do the race tomorrow, guys. I'm absolutely knackered. never. Let's go anyway. Here comes Andre. He's coming through the final turn as well in the Alfa Romeo. I've got to say, the debutants here tonight, they've been absolutely fantastic, isn't it? It's great to see them as well. I'm loving that's what I love about Silver. Actually, it's the new drivers, isn't it? Just seeing that they're new. It's a different way of driving. Isn't it? Everyone's got their own drivers. So it's really good to see, isn't it? Andre is at the moment at 400 of a second down in the first sector. The first sector, as we said earlier on in the program, it's not the be all and end all, so to speak. There, so we still got a lot of time. We still got a lot of time on the board there for Andre to make up for that. Everyone is now on a lap as well. Forza's just come across on. Well, but poorly Orange. I think I'm 30 seconds in front of. As Glock pointed out earlier on in the session then. And Andre Mu then is coming into just in front of the Mercedes grandstand then. Look at this then, we're surrounded by woodland around here in Hockenheim, isn't it? Of course then. I know, of course, and it used to be absolutely that blast through the forest. Just absolutely formidable, didn't it? On board then with Andre as well, and he is now in turn 14 and 15. Then Double has finished, and 00 has finished the time then, and here he goes then through the final turn. Then what can Andre do then? Here he goes then, and Andre goes second fastest. What a time there for the Alfa Romeo again. Another man on the full 11.4 said, "Why can Glock explains the advantage? This time Glock is 200 on a second up." Paulie Orange is out there as well. Glock is coming into the line, and he's only 200 seconds up. This is the last corner, and I think Paulie Orange and Droffer's through at the 4th and 5th position. Glock is coming to the line. Is on pole position. An incredible final time there for Glock. 11.1. My goodness me. Explain his advantage this time. What about Paulie Orange? He's a 10th for a second up there. And we've also got Forza. Forza's in 6th position. Paulie Orange is coming through. Explains his retirement, but he's still in a cracking 4th position. Here comes Paulie Orange, he's 5th, I think. Wow, what a qualifying session, and Glock had to work for that, didn't he? My goodness me, but Glock still got 100% pole position record, but that was squeaky bum time, to say the very least, by 86 hundredths of a second. Yeah, just take that in for a minute, guys. Whilst I just take a moment to get myself sorted out. Wow, look at that Glock in the 00. What a front row that is! That is a cracking front row. Then we got Andre Mu, and it explains there both German drivers are third and fourth. Let's see what they can do. We got Poorly Orange and Droffer 5th and 6th, Forza and Asdog 7th and 8th, and 9th and 10th is Serious Mushroom and Ghost Recon, who didn't set a time then, as we get ready for the race itself then, and as explained